Bing, 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 bing. Yes, sir. Welcome back to a pop-up edition of Paper Route. Just a little test, me and 8 people sitting here on an amazing Friday. Why is this important? Because football is back, baby. Football showed up last night. The Kansas City Chiefs lost to the Detroit Lions. And a lot of big news. How the hell did Mr. B find a way to come up with $275 million for Joe B? But I want to jump into this game last night. Let's start there before we even get into the Joe Burrow discussion, before we even talk about Chris Jones showing up at the game. Wasn't suited in a uniform, but definitely in uniform in a suite. I've never seen that before. I've never seen a guy holding out, holding in, still come to the game and support his team. So maybe Chris Jones is going to get a deal done this weekend. And after this loss, maybe they expedite this process just a little bit. But the Detroit Lions, they fall, or the Chiefs fall to the Detroit Lions 21-20. Is anyone surprised that the Detroit Lions beat the Chiefs? I'm not. I'm not at all. I said I was going for the underdog, right? Obviously, there's a lot of people out there. I wasn't the only one, definitely the minority, but there was a lot of people out there high on the Detroit Lions. There's a lot of people out there putting the Detroit Lions in position to disrupt some things this year. The Detroit Lions went out there and they handled their business. And so I've been watching all the traditional shows, all the sports shows. I saw Michael Irvin talking a little bit. I saw Stephen A. Smith talking a little bit. And I didn't like what I was hearing. What I didn't like was all the talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, my goodness. The Kansas City Chiefs, they lost the game because they didn't have Travis Kelce. Oh, my goodness. They lost the game because they didn't have Chris Jones. And I think even Mike Tirico went out there and said, which was total disrespect. Oh, let's put an asterisk. We got to put an asterisk by this win because they didn't have their 2 superstars. Well, the last I remember and I recall, this is football, which means every team is going to deal with injuries, and you have to be able to overcome it, right? So now, who is on the hot seat? When I say hot seat, I'm not talking about someone's going to get fired. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is the general manager, the guys who are making decisions to build out this roster. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, do we have enough? Because you have Patrick Mahomes and you have our guy, Andy Reid, who are legends, who are Hall of Famers, first ballot Hall of Famers, can potentially go down as the best quarterback head coach duo, can go down as the best quarterback ever, can go down as the best head coach ever. So you still should be able to sustain success without your guys if your guys go down for a couple of weeks. But back to my guys. How the hell do y'all go out there and talk so disrespectful about the Detroit Lions? Because when I watched that game, and let me not be so animated, when I watched that game, I was shocked that the Detroit Lions didn't put up more points. Jared Goff was efficient. Jared Goff did his thing again. He's like 4th in the history of the NFL of, attempts to, interceptions. He hasn't thrown an interception in over 340 attempts. Doing a phenomenal job protecting the ball and making plays. But they left so many plays out there. On the defensive side, they gave up some big plays they shouldn't have given up on a 3rd and long or, 2nd and long. They shouldn't have been able to let Patrick Mahomes do that. Dropped interceptions. How you drop the baby? So it's total disrespect that you got our guys out there, Stephen A. Smiths of the world, the Michael Irvins of the world, the Mike Tiricos of the world, just saying it's all about the Chiefs. No, man, the Detroit Lions are the real deal. The Detroit Lions are the real deal. And for them to come out in this moment, right, going against the defending champs, all eyes on them. Thursday Night Football, the first game of the year, and not crap down their leg says a lot about this team because they didn't look phenomenal. They look good, but they didn't look phenomenal. They were able to go out there and outclass and outlast the defending champ. So shout out to Dan Campbell. And how about Dan Campbell, right? And Dan Campbell took us on a roller coaster last night, right? Their first touchdown, do you remember what happened, what he did, how gutsy he got? He went for it, backed up on fourth down, fake punt. He went for it, and they got it. And so when he did that, I said, oh, he's playing with house money. We're the Detroit Lions playing against the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champions. No one's expecting us to win. No one's expecting us to come out and do what we're about to do. Why not do it? Why not set the tempo not only for this game, but going forward in that situation? He said, I'm setting the tempo for the rest of the year. Now, the reason why I said he took me on a roller coaster is because he then goes into the fourth quarter, right, and the game is close. All right, and you don't want to be in this type of situation with a Patrick Mahomes, right? You got to think about the Patrick Mahomes, the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady's, the Drew Brees of the world. You don't want to go back and forth. Aaron Rodgers, those are deadly moments for a team. Even Russell Wilson in those clutch moments, you don't want to go in those type of waters. But you're in the fourth quarter and they're up by just a handful, and he goes in a 4-minute mode. How you do that, Dan Campbell? And these are the things that they're looking at right now. The plane ride home, I can assure you that Dan Campbell was thinking about, like, okay, what did I do well and what was my mistakes? Where can I get better? Because Dan Campbell, in the fourth quarter, going against Patrick Mahomes on the other side and Andy Reid on the other side, start panicking. Now you want to run the ball on first, run the ball on second, run the ball on third. And then you kick the ball back. Like, what are you doing? And you go for it on fourth down and you don't get it. And now you give him, great field position. They're lucky they didn't lose the game. And so Dan Campbell's probably looking at himself right now and saying, you know what? That was an opportunity for me to stay aggressive. You started that way. You set the tempo. Don't send your team messages, man. So shout out to the Detroit Lions for going out there and upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs. All this talk with or without Travis Kelce, this is football, man. This is football. And so, the Kansas City Chiefs, they got to look at themselves and they got to say, well, we do have wide receivers, but they just didn't catch the ball. How you go out there and drop 3 balls, Kadarius? Like, he dropped 4 balls. And this was the defining moment right here, truly. And we may look back at this moment. Excuse me, I'm going to go here because you see this picture here. So this is the first quarter. He's backed up. He's not even at the 20. He's backed up. And he says, you know what? We're going to go for it. Yo, you got to have some balls to do that. And we may look back at this moment and say that was the moment that set the tempo for the Detroit Lions and why they're having so much success. I think for the first time in 20, 30 years, I think they're favored to win the division. It's unbelievable. More news, and we'll come back to this game because there's so much we can talk about, so much in my notes. There was defining moments. We can talk more about Travis Kelce. We can talk about the matchup between the coordinators. We can talk about the receivers. I was getting into that, the receivers dropping balls, not making the big plays when they needed to. I thought Patrick Mahomes did a phenomenal job. He looked faster. He looked stronger, right? He was in the zone. Everybody's like, well, you think it's like, they start talking about this Super Bowl hangover. Super Bowl hangover. He's like, I'm already past that. I didn't even watch the ceremony. I didn't even look up and see the banner. Like, I'm on to the next, and I truly believe that. But more news, and we'll get back to that guy. More news. Joe Burrow, back up the Brinks truck. I wish we had the little buttons where it's like, beep, 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 beep. Back up the Brinks truck. Joe Burrow got paid. $275 million. That makes him the highest paid, not quarterback, but player ever in the history of the NFL. And we knew this was coming, obviously. I think we talked about it yesterday. Like, why is this taking so long, right? And one of our producers here was like, you know what? How is Mr. B going to find the money? Because you got to understand the way you put these deals together determines how much money you need to put in escrow. It's not just, we're going to guarantee you this money, and then next when in 2 years when we're due to pay you that, or 3 years that we're going to give it. No, you got to have that money. And Mr. B is the poorest owner, and poor. How do you say poor? The report came out a week ago, 2 weeks ago. The average value of a NFL franchise is $6 billion. And then you have the Dallas Cowboys at 9. But you got to have that money. But they found a way to get it done. All-time record overall, $55 million a year. And then his guarantee was ridiculous as well. So shout out to the Cincinnati Bengals. But it makes me wonder if they're now in the win now era. Is this the window where it's closing, right? Because we've seen this, for the last 10, 15 years. You have a really good team, and now you go pay your quarterback, especially this type of deal. This is not a Patrick Mahomes type deal. When Patrick Mahomes first got his deal, we were all like, oh, my goodness, this is the first football player to almost reach $500 million. It was like $450 million. It was like, what the hell? We haven't even seen anybody get that type of overall since then. I mean, when you talk about the 10-year deal was a crazy deal, but it turned out when you really got into it, it was a team-friendly deal. Patrick Mahomes is grossly underpaid when you look at the quarterback market now. And we'll get back to that as well because, Patrick Mahomes is probably going to get a deal done, if not this year, probably right after this year. And obviously we're going to see what he does. Does he give his team another team-friendly deal or not? But back to Joe Burrow in this window, right? When you pay your quarterback, when your quarterback goes out there and he balls out, and he transformed your franchise, you got to give him the bag. And when you give him the bag, it's going to be hard to keep guys around the way the NFL is constructed today, right, with the salary cap. So, you got Jamar Chase that's still in his rookie deal. You got T. Higgins as well that's, in a year where he should have gotten a contract going into this year. But you got T. Higgins you got to pay too. And so how do you keep all these guys around? You got guys on the defensive side that you brought in and you want to keep. So what's the example? What's the model that they're following? Is it the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick in a Patriot way? Is it the Kansas City Chiefs and the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes way, right? Like Tyreek Hill wanted 30. So if Tyreek Hill's averaging 30 right now, what can Jamar Chase get on the open market? Now, I don't think Jamar Chase is the type of guy that's going to go out there and say, you know what, I want to be the highest paid wide receiver. Now, does he want to get close? Absolutely. But I do think that Jamar Chase is smart enough to say, you know what, I'm staying close to Joe B. Because that right there, if I stay close to Joe B, that's a lot of money on and off the field, and also will probably be back in the Super Bowl sooner rather than later. But this is an interesting situation. You got to show love to Joe Burrow because this is a guy that totally transformed the worst team in 2019 in the NFL. They won 2 games, which gave them the honor of picking first, if that's an honor, if we want to say that. So they won 2 games in 2019. Think about this. And what ended up happening? He tore his ACLs and MCL. Then he came back the next year. Okay? So think about it. 2021, he's still recovering from an ACL. He don't have an offensive line, and he takes them to the Super Bowl. That's Joe B. That's Smoking Joe. Takes them to the Super Bowl. So within 2 years, less than 2 years, you totally transformed the worst team in the NFL? This is not an attractive destination. It wasn't, at least. Nobody wanted to go to Cincinnati. Cincinnati? What's in Cincinnati? And no disrespect, I come from a similar place. I'm from Pittsburgh, right? Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati. You could put it all in. It's kind of in the same territory. Steel mills, that blue collar. Ain't much going on there, right? And Pittsburgh probably a little bit better, but ain't much going on there. All right. So In 2 years, he's able to transform this organization, and that's why he got paid. I am surprised that it took this long, but I'm glad that they got it done before Sunday, before he ran out there with his team. He deserves this, but now let's see what happens next with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and so many others. How will they keep this thing going? I want to jump into the chat here, right, because this is a Paper Route pop-up edition on a Friday. We've never done a show on a Friday, and I'm sitting here solo dolo. Ashley's on an airplane somewhere going to some island or something. You know, she bougie, all right? And then I'm just sitting here just saying, you know what? I have nothing to do. Why not jump on? Why not talk about, Thursday Night Football and recap that? Why not talk about Chris Jones suited? Well, he ain't suited. Well, he wasn't suited in his uniform, but he definitely was in the stadium sitting in between his agents. What's going on there? Why not do that? Woo, thanks for coming here correcting my camera. One-man band in the control room. Why not? I have nothing else to do. Hell, y'all might see me on a Sunday night. Y'all might see me on a Monday night. Okay? Let's jump in the chat. How did y'all feel about last night's game? Were you guys shocked? Were you guys surprised? Who bet the Lions last night? How much money have y'all won? Y'all have any questions for me? Anything? Thank you for jumping on, B. Christy O. What's up, Christy O? See, you're a real one. You're a real one. You just must be. Christy O, how you know we was on today, Christy O? How did you know? Brandon full of surprises. No, I'm just bored. Did a little yoga this morning, then jumped on. I want to talk a little bit about this game last night. Are the Chiefs in trouble? If the skill players around Patrick Mahomes can't keep up with Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs will be in trouble. And when I say in trouble, the Chiefs will be competitive. They'll still be contending. But, entering into a dynasty, that's going to be tough. It's tough because Patrick Mahomes is an off-schedule type player. He's not, I'm dropping back and I'm going through my progressions, 1, 2, 3, get the ball out, 5-step drop, 7-step drop, 1, 2, 3. Does he do that? Absolutely. Does he do it at a high level? Absolutely. But what separates Patrick Mahomes from everyone else is Patrick Mahomes being creative, Patrick Mahomes getting outside of the pocket, Patrick Mahomes extending plays. And when he does that, are you making your plays? Now, I don't think that, they'll continue to drop the ball at this rate, but it makes me wonder if these guys are ready for the moment. Now, you had Kadarius go out there and make huge plays in the Super Bowl, but why did the New York Giants get rid of him? You're counting on this guy. There ain't no Tyreek Hill. Obviously, I don't even need to go back there. Tyreek's freaking, comfortable in Miami, sunny South Florida. He's been there for a year. But Travis Kelce, what year is Travis Kelce in? This is a real thing. Let me look this up. What year is Travis Kelce in? Travis Kelce. What is this? Is this 10? Can somebody help me out here? Travis Kelce. Boom. Travis Kelce is 33 years of age. Travis Kelce, take your time. So what's happening now is Travis Kelce, you saw the passion. When you guys watched the game last night, the camera was on him every 3 minutes. And you saw the passion, the excitement, the hoorah, all of that. And then you saw the when they drop a ball, you saw the angst. You saw it. So he's sitting there like, man, damn, if I was out there, we would have won that game. Oh, that play right there, that was supposed to come to me. I would have did this. He broke out. I would have broke in. That's what we've done 20 times already. Had 20 touchdowns off of that. So Travis Kelce is right now trying to find a way to get back on the field. That's what we do as players. But when you're 33 years of age, you don't recover the way you used to. You don't heal the way you used to. So for him to still be playing at this level, which he deems a lot of his success to like yoga, but for him to be playing at this level at 33 is huge. It's a huge blessing. But you shouldn't be rushing back to get to, week 2, week 3, week 4, because Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid will keep you in position for what you guys are trying to get to come postseason. So make sure that you are okay and 100%, because what you don't want to do is go out there and rush it and then start hurting other things. All right, I hyperextended this knee. So to get out there, you start leaning on the other side. So now your hip is hurt, now your ankle. Or then you go out there and you get hit again on your knee, and it doesn't have as much strength or stability, and then it's even worse. And now you're out for the rest of the year, or you got nagging injuries for the rest of the year. I do not want to see Travis Kelce come week 10 wrapped up like he looked like a football player in the 90s, in the 80s. Ace bandages all. No, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. You don't have to rush back, but he's probably thinking about legacy. He's probably thinking about his teammates and how I need to go out there and help them get over the hump. No, brother, because if you rush this could determine what next year looks like. And I'm telling you, next year could be affected by how he approached this knee injury. So the chat, what's the chat talking about? I appreciate you guys rocking with me on a Friday. Like I said, I had nothing else better to do, so I wanted to jump on. So I'll probably go another 15 minutes or so, but just wanted to give my quick thoughts on the Chiefs dropping to the Lions, 21-20. Dan Campbell, gutsy, oh my goodness. Are the Chiefs in trouble? If they don't handle this situation right, they'll still be a fire team, a good team, but we talk about winning the Super Bowl, I don't know. Jets, Buffalo Bills, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I mean, who's going to be the dark horse this year? Is it the Tennessee Titans? Some people laughing at me probably already. Is it going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars? Can the Jacksonville Jaguars be the Detroit Lions this year? Can they be that team? Who else is in the AFC? I mean, even in your division, probably Sean Payton and Russell Wilson was probably looking at like, yes. So let me jump in this chat, see what's going on. Damn, y'all really some real paper chasers. Y'all really real. Rocking with us on a Friday. Good game last night. A few mistakes by the Chiefs and good defense by the Lions. First game of the season. I don't know. You know what? Who said that? Is that John Blaze? So John Blaze, shout out to John Blaze. He's in the chat. Paper chaser says good game last night. A few mistakes by the Chiefs and a good defense by the Lions. First game of the season. Well, I actually agree with you, but let's be clear here. It was a good game for them because they were the worst defense last year. They gave up the most points last year. I think they gave up like 26.1 points a game. The 0.1 doesn't even matter, right? So for them to go up against the defending champs, and I don't care if they didn't have Travis Kelce, for them to go out there and hold them to 20 points and stand up in some big moments, it says a lot about Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn, I had some classic battles against him when he played cornerback. When I was in the league, he was an OG, and he's been a coach for a very long time. So now he has his chance. But he has to get these guys better. You can't go out there and drop interceptions, and you can't go out there and miss tackles in those big moments, because, you might go out there and win, a couple of games here and there, but we're talking about the best teams. We're talking about when you get to postseason, if you want to be that team, you gotta make those big plays in those big moments. And it was too easy a couple of times on 3rd and long. We're talking about they have a 10% chance of converting on 3rd and long, and I know it's Patrick Mahomes, but you can't let Patrick Mahomes pick up a 3rd and 15. Can't let it happen. It can't happen. So what's happening now is the Detroit Lions and the Chiefs are looking at this film, and they're looking at it and they're saying, how do we get better? I see someone in here says they missing Eric Bieniemy. Bad. Do you guys agree with that? Do you guys agree? Do you guys think that Eric Bieniemy is a difference? I got T-Rob in here that says Matt Nagy isn't getting it done. Bring back Eric Bieniemy. I don't think Eric Bieniemy's coming back. B. Marsh, the Chiefs rely on Kelce way too much, bro. They need to find the answer to that fast. No, I don't think Eric Bieniemy is that. And I don't even know how this thing is constructed. It looked like so Matt Nagy is the offensive coordinator. We all know, hopefully we all know the backstory of Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy was the quarterback coach for the Chiefs, okay? The Chicago Bears go hire him, not Eric Bieniemy. They go hire him. He becomes the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Flames out quick. Boom, 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 boom. Everything's imploded. Andy Reid brings him back, and now he's the offensive coordinator. I like Matt Nagy as an offensive coordinator, but when you watched the game last night, you saw Andy Reid holding up the clips, and he was the one seemed like speaking to Patrick Mahomes and potentially calling the plays. So I don't know if it's not Matt Nagy. To me, it was never about Eric Bieniemy. Those guys run the day-to-day. Those guys are in front of the offense of meetings, installing the plays. But those plays, and it seems like who's the mad scientist on Sundays, the play callers, Andy Reid. And that's what matters. And that gentleman right there, Patrick Mahomes, that's what matters. Patrick Mahomes, man, watching him last night, he reminded me of he's like a street baller. And that's what I was trying to say earlier. You got a lot of guys, Kirk Cousins, 1, 2, 3, get the ball out. I got Dragon Lion, so I got to go here first. If that's not there, I got to throw that ball there. If that's not there, I just got to throw it in the dirt. And it's boom, 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 boom. Almost like robotic. This dude right here, oh my goodness. It's like he's so gutsy. The plays that he make, throwing the balls behind dudes' head, the defenders aren't looking, and it looks like there's no space, but he finds a way to get the ball in there. And, that's what I mean by the playmakers making plays, because when he puts you in those positions and those are tough catches, you got to come down with them. So there was some frustration there, but he did say last night that he's not giving up on his guys, in particular Kadarius, our guy there, can't drop 3 balls, bro. So, hey, listen, quick little pop-up. I am athlete. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. I thought I was going to get some better questions in the chat. Christy O didn't send me any nice questions. Mahomes plays like he plays basketball on the court. Absolutely. So they only needed a field goal to win. Buckner is cash. They played well down the stretch. Chiefs downfall, imminent Super Bowl hangover. Mahomes' contract will keep them from signing talent. Chris Jones as well. Not the same Chiefs. Slow down. That's another thing. This is the last thing I'll say, and then we'll break, and I want everybody to enjoy their Friday. Can we slow down? Overreactions, not only from last night, but also this weekend. Anyone going out there, and listen, hold me accountable, because sometimes I could get off track too. But anybody going out there and giving overreaction, saying they're done. No, can't say that. Oh, in our chat, the Chiefs, they're not the same Chiefs. No, didn't the Chiefs start off slow last year, I think? They weren't phenomenal. Well, I wouldn't say, was it last year? We got to pump our brakes. When you have Patrick Mahomes, it's like that Aaron Rodgers moment where Aaron Rodgers says, relax, RELAX, relax. Everybody just relax. So as we go through this first week, because I don't want to look too far ahead, But pay attention to the overreactors, paper chasers. We are not overreactors. Let's be logical here. Let's be strategic here. Are the Chiefs in trouble? Maybe. We can say maybe, but let's see. We still don't even know what's going on with Travis Kelce. In 2015, the first opening night, playing against Buffalo, in Buffalo, I think it was Sunday Night Football, going against bump and run Gilmore, and we're going at it. Hyperextended my knee. Damn, I wish we had that picture. Hyperextended my knee, and I wasn't right until week 12. Whenever that was, we was playing against Richard Sherman in Seattle, and I still, didn't feel good going side to side, but I was able to go. And that's why I'm saying, I think I was maybe 32 at the time. Same position. And I played through it. So we got to wait and see what's going on with Travis Kelce, because he can come back and play and be effective, but not Travis Kelce, who they are saying, the Shannon Sharps of the world, is the GOAT. So I appreciate you guys rocking with me on this Pop-Up Friday, SiriusXM, Faction Talk, Channel 103, YouTube, streaming live on a Pop-Up Friday. I appreciate the team throwing some graphics together for me. Sitting there at Prime 112 last night, watching the game, having a glass of wine, and Jazz, need a favor, bro, big favor. I'm going in tomorrow. I'm coming in hot. Can you put together some graphics? I said, no problem. I got you, B. So shout out to him. Bianca in the back, coming in the control room. I don't even know how the hell does she know how to do the whole technical stuff. She's a Swiss Army knife. Shout out to Woo. Shout out to Manderville. So shout out to the team. We will see you guys Monday. We will be back with our crew, and we'll be recapping all of Sunday's game. This is going to be a huge Sunday for us. There's some amazing matchups, a lot of storylines to follow. I don't know how you guys are going to consume all of this football, but it's going to be amazing. I know there's some people, struggling with the Sunday ticket, right? I think YouTube, here on YouTube, on this platform, is the only place you can get it, right? They just partner with the NFL. So make sure you guys have everything you need. The platform's downloaded and subscribed so you can watch your football. We will see you guys next week, Monday, right here. I Am Athlete, Paper Route. Love.